Good morning. I'm back from getting coffee and my little muffin. Speaking of muffin, one of my YouTube viewers chatted saying I should learn who Frogan is. Yeah, I guess I should. That's exactly what we're going to do on this right now. We're going to be watching
Gentlemen and
Mr. What's this guy's name? I haven't seen him yet. Nuxanor. Make sure you give him the follows, the likes, and everything, because this is his video. I'm just reacting to it. He's the one who did the work. There you go. Now you can see my face. Just so anyone's not understanding, I am a disabled veteran with PTSD. I've heard a little bit about Frogan. I've heard she said some things, and she's not a big fan of people like me. Well, that's fucking nice. I can't wait to find out why. I'm sure she has an eloquent and perfect way of describing as to why I'm such a bad person. Let's find out.
female gentlemen, allow me to introduce you to one of the worst streamers in the history of time. I like to call her Hijabba the Hutt. She's also known as Frogan, a lot less popular of a title than Hijabba the Hutt, in my opinion. And if you're wondering why I'm insulting her, it is because she deserves all of that.
Before I start getting insults saying I'm the hard racism or whatever, I've been to the Middle East many times, been deployed there 5 times. I have plenty of friends in the Middle East and stuff, so I do not have any ire or anything against the Muslim people. There's many different sects of Muslim culture. They do not all agree. Some of it, in fact, are even at war with each other. So if you have a problem with Muslim people as a whole, you should educate yourself and learn the different sects and the different religious followings they have. There's extremists, and then there's those who are actual good people.
Aside from being a terrorist sympathizer and Hamas supporter, as well as a Hassan Piker dick sucker, I felt the need to cover this on this glorious day. Now, Grimace Shake, the streamer over here, has decided to go on an entire tirade as of late, calling all veterans in the American military assholes, and hoping that all of them suffer.
That we are not the nicest group of people, but I don't think all of us are assholes. I am, but not all of us.
Of PTSD. That's when she went viral most recently. Is she a terrorist supporter? Yeah, she likes Hamas a lot. You know, Hamas, the people that just murdered two babies and released their bodies with like a whole party celebrating the fact that they murdered 2 babies. Those guys, yeah, so she likes those guys. She's also well known for doing an Arab to Jew tier list on Twitch. Big Hassan Piker dick sucker. I don't know if I've ever really covered her on the channel. Apparently there's new drama. Sensitive Society made a video about it. She is beyond cooked, which is funny because we're cooking, she's eating. And I guess we'll see what this is all about. I'm excited. I'm excited to see what this is all about.
I am not going to insult her weight. I'm not going to do that. I am not going to liken her to a busted can of biscuits. I am not going to make jokes like that. That is completely bad taste. I would never.
She is, believe it or not, she is an actual industry plant because she streams to like 100 viewers. She's completely irrelevant when it comes to her actual streams. However, she is at every award show ever. She is nominated for the Rising Star Award literally all the time. Twice, actually. I don't know how someone can be a Rising
I don't know how you can do that twice. I think it's like a one-time thing, I thought.
Star twice. More like a falling star, am I right, guys? Yeah, somehow, she is like the DEI inclusive person in every Twitch party. It's very fun. I love it a lot. So anyway, apparently there's been new drama. She's insufferable, as most people that support terrorists are, and think that all veterans in the military deserve PTSD. It's pretty bad. She remade the Twin Towers out of cake and blew them up. Like, she's a f***ing monster.
That seems like a waste of cake.
So anyway, let's see what it's all about.
Seems like
I am sure every single one of you lovely people out there who decided to click on this very epic video, remember Twitch's Rising Star for 20 years in a row.
Yeah!
I've talked about her before.
Oh my god, he made like 4 videos on her?
I'm not the biggest fan of her, I guess you could say that. She is one of the worst people on Twitch. Top 20, maybe top 15. Depends on what stupid she says that day.
Dude, this is good. This is good. I love a good downfall. And today we're watching a good downfall. And you know the downfall will be big. because
I like his avatar.
she has a lot of mass.
Kind of cool.
Yes, she was a Twitch streamer who wished American soldiers got PTSD.
Yeah, that's her.
So I was just browsing YouTube as I do, and this video got recommended to me. Frogan, cruel, bigoted, and loving it. And I
What the fuck?
thought to
She
myself,
titled
why
it
not
that
get some
herself?
snacks? You know what I mean?
I'm ready.
Maybe get some sour candy.
I'm
chill
ready.
with my amigos and amigas, and let's just watch this. Her downfall has been a long time coming.
I like her. I like downfalls a lot. Definitely subscribe for more downfalls. We do downfalls here. Hamas literally just released the bodies of babies, and she still supports Hamas. It's like fucking crazy. Like you gotta recognize the level of insanity that's going on here.
And now it feels like everyone's finally realizing what a horrible person this person is. According to Frogan,
Creature. I don't know. I think that people knew she was a horrible person for a very long time. She was just like forever irrelevant. So no one actually wanted to talk about her. She's only known as someone that orbits around Hassan, another terrorist sympathizer on Twitch.
herself,
he's
her
involved.
friends are leaving her. She said,
Yo!
When they
You
stop
know a
sharing
friendship
their
is dead when they
location.
stop sharing their location with her? No! The insane downfall. The downfall doesn't end. That's crazy! Her homies are abandoning her. That's crazy.
you know a friendship is dead when they stop sharing their location with you. Could this be a joke? Yes. But then at the same time, this is the same person that claimed she was joking about people getting PTSD and dying and everyone deserves to die because America
That's the
bad.
clip
So
I'm trying to
I don't
see.
know.
That's
I don't
why
know
I
if
keep
she's
sharing
trolling
it.
or not.
That's
If
why
you
I
No,
wanna
she
see.
unironically is like the classic Twitch brain rot person. Someone that absolutely despises America with every fiber of her being, but she'll never leave. Like, like it's insane that there's like this entire subset of fucking people that literally just sit in America, use America's systems to their absolute best
as I'm
advantage.
enjoying
Like you
his
got Hassan
commentary,
Piker, champagne
I'm gonna
socialist,
go to
owner
the
of
actual
mansions
source
and
video.
I am sure every single one of you lovely people out there who decided to click on this very epic video, remember Twitch's rising star for 20 years in a row. I've talked about her before. I am not the biggest fan of her. I guess you can say that. She is one of the worst people on Twitch. Top 20, maybe top 15. Depends on what stupid she says that day. Yes, she was a Twitch streamer who wished American soldiers got PTSD. So I was just browsing YouTube as I do, and this video got recommended to me with my amigos and amigas. She said, you know a friendship is dead. Subscribe to the channel and drop a like. And let's just get right into it. I'm actually pretty hyped.
Hi, I'm Frogan, and I chose to be a Twitch streamer for my job.
5 seconds in, and I'm like, nah. If you would have said YouTuber, that is a lot more sustainable than a Twitch streamer when you're barely starting out. But on Twitch, it's a lot different because you rely on other people. You rely on a fan base, a pre-existing fan base that jumps to Twitch, or you gotta have connections, which she has, but yet no one's watching. And on YouTube, it's completely different, and there's a lot more opportunities on YouTube. If you're gonna do this as your job, it's a lot better to do it as a YouTuber than a Twitch streamer, unless you have connections. And even then, once again, Frogan has connections with literally one of the biggest Twitch streamers ever, Hassan Piker, and still nobody watches her. And Denims and other
keep hearing
people
this
in her
guy's
community,
name.
and she's
I already
between
don't
80
like him
to
by what I saw
110
him do with
viewers
the LA riots
every single
today.
day with all those connections. And on YouTube, you don't need to rely on other people. So my advice, not that I recommend it, but if you're gonna drop out of school or quit your job when you're barely starting off in, you know, creating social media content, I would do YouTube. I wouldn't do Twitch. But that's just my 2 cents.
In the last video, I covered topics such as Frogan's claims to be a public health expert, her confrontations with multiple
This is what I'm trying to watch.
I have no pity at all for any fucking soldiers. Distress, thank you so much. I will never have any fucking pity for any fucking soldiers. U.S. military? Boo fucking who? I hope you get PTSD.
So I'm assuming she's eating right there. That's interesting. So is it okay for her to say that she helps me and my ilk get PTSD? Is it okay for me to say I hope she gets diabetes, which if I was a betting man is, judging by her current behavior, is likely. Is that it? By the way, that's
You know?
fucking gross to see eating on stream. Ugh. Ugh.
I do the ones I'm like whatever about the U.S. soldiers. are the ones that like acknowledge that like what they did was wrong. They didn't know back then. Whatever.
Oh, so as long as they kowtow to your tone and agree with you, they're okay. But anyone who disagrees with you is wrong. Anyone who doesn't agree with this person's thing, fuck them. They get PTSD.
You're a good person in my book. I'm like a Tom. Thank you so much for the 10 gifted. So the U.S. military that are like, yeah, like, you know, I did this back then, but now I know it's wrong. Like, I'm changed. Like, fuck imperialism. Fuck this. You don't deserve the PTSD. But like any other motherfucker, you're joining them. You're like, oh my god, I want my fucking Camaro, no student loans. Fuck you. I hope you get PTSD. And I hope you get no health insurance when you get back into fucking America.
Well, Artard, that's not how that works. Whatever you get an injury or an illness from service, you get something called service connected. Whether you get medically retired like myself, whether you become 100% disabled, whatever you get while in the military, as long as it's documented, it's considered service connected, and the VA will provide treatment for that. So yes, if you got PTSD while in the military and it's service connected, you will get treatment for that. So she's just uneducated about this topic, and that's like the third bite I've seen her take out of whatever she's eating. So I'm going to go ahead and go back to the video we were watching about her to see what her downfall is, now that I know what is mainly the issue with this human. Thanks for that.
I am sure every single one of you love on other people. You rely on a fan base, a connections with literally one of the biggest Twitch streamers ever, Hassan Piker, and still nobody watches her, and Denims and other people in her community, and she's between 80 to 110 viewers every single day with all those connections. And on YouTube, you don't need to rely on other people. So my advice, not that I recommend it, but if you're gonna drop out of school or quit your job when you're barely starting off in, you know, creating social media content, I would do YouTube. I wouldn't do Twitch. But that's just my 2 cents.
In the last video, I covered topics such as Frogan's claims to be a public health expert, her
I highly fucking doubt that. I highly doubt that.
confrontations with multiple therapists, her criticisms of Ludwig, Ethan Klein's falling out with her favorite streamer Hassan, and a paper she wrote in college. I think I successfully demonstrated her dishonesty, her arrogance, and self-victimization. But, as I expected, Frogan has once again stirred up controversy in the streaming community. And as usual, she'll take no accountability for her actions.
There's no way someone like...
If anybody needs a public health expert to specialization, is Frogan. A friend of mine called cancel their monthly donation to Planned Parenthood after this statement. Okay,
Frogan is a public health expert.
Recently, we've seen a lot happen between Twitch, its creators, and its critics. Most notably, Twitch was put on blast by multiple figures and organizations, including the ADL and U.S. Congressman Richie Torres. A Twitch-sponsored panel.
Someone who went after veterans, which is actually a protected class. Last time, I'm pretty sure fat people aren't. I'm pretty sure fat people aren't a protected class, but I know for a fact veterans and disabled veterans are. So that's an odd choice by Twitch.
With racial undertones, was the spark that started the fire. People will try and feign innocence. Don't let them gaslight you. In another universe, I might have been more charitable to Frogan and her crew. But as I discussed in my last video, there's way too many examples of her being shady. To explain why I don't think anyone should give any leeway to Frogan or anyone in her circle.
I've said this, guys. I don't want to be like, I told you so, but I'm never, ever, ever, ever wrong when it comes to situations. Never. I've never made a mistake. Not even one. I cannot recall one. You don't need to be a super IQ individual to look at Frogan and everything she's done and be like, yeah, I do not trust this person. I trust everyone, even my biggest op, more than I do Frogan. And I get it. YouTubers, Twitch streamers, content creators, we make mistakes. But when you do it like, I don't know,
Everyone
5, 6, 7, 8 times in a row, it's like, all right, bro, you gotta be stopped. But the difference between the average content creator that does or says something stupid and Frogan is that Frogan never apologizes. Frogan can do no wrong, according to Frogan. So now a lot of this video, if not the first half, talks about stuff that we've covered before, and it even dives into, you know, a bit more political that I am just not qualified to talk about. I'm gonna keep it real. I'm just not the guy to talk about politics. But let's get into stuff that we've never seen before.
I hope you get PTSD. And I hope you get no health insurance when you get back into America.
This is a pretty vile
I hope
take.
your fucking
And
nose
not
gets
because
caught
I
on a
think
piece
you
of
can't
bacon.
criticize America. You certainly can. But there's a difference in criticizing the decisions made at a high level and harboring hatred towards military service members who often have no other choice but to follow orders. People who join the military often do so because they have no other prospects in their life and no future planned ahead for them.
No, wrong. Most people join the military because they want to serve their country. That may sound cliche. That's why I joined. Yeah, we joke about, oh, I just wanted to get out of the desert. Oh, I just wanted to go get a job. Yeah, there's a lot of people who join for college. There's a lot of people who join for an education. There's a lot of people who join because they don't know what they want to be when they grow up. But at some level, every one of them wants to join the military because they want to serve the country that's given them so much.
Joining the military gives them a path that they otherwise wouldn't have had. That doesn't even take into account how many of them are recruited fresh out of high school. Frogan and her friends are supposed to be leftists who care about the disadvantaged and the working class. But they can't even think through who they're talking to when they say things like this. They only have enough energy to fawn over an anti-Semitic Houthi terrorist. There's no energy for anyone else. A few days later, on October 21st, Frogan doubled down.
I'm getting canceled on Twitter again. I still agree with it. Aw, base.
This is absolutely hate speech. Veterans are a protected class. People with mental issues are a protected class. You cannot talk about people like this. It's actually a huge problem. And according to Twitch guidelines, this is a violation. Now,
Did she
if I
get
can
banned?
direct your attention, take a look at this gem.
Some of them don't have a choice financially or for school. My little brother is serving right now for that reason. He's not a fan, neither am I.
I took out student.
Oh, God, if she says I took out the student loans, so can you. I swear to God, if she says so can you. Student loans are 100% predatory and designed to maximize the benefit of the bank and the college. You know who they're not designed to help? The student.
Loans. I took out student loans. Listen, honey, be in student debt like everybody else.
Oh, okay. Yeah, that's wonderful advice for your all your 100 fans is to tell them to go into debt. You're so fucking intelligent.
Doodle Barb, thank you. You think
Same for Frogan.
You think I want to be in $100,000 of student loan debt? No, I don't. But I never brown children at the expense of it.
Neither did I. Not you. Are you stupid? Not all veterans, not all service members are shooting people, and very few of them are shooting children. That's very isolated. That's against the Geneva Convention for the most part, just to go out and indiscriminately kill people. You would end up in Leavenworth for that. I'm not saying children don't die in war. Yeah, there's a lot of people like your friends that you're big fans of, the Houthis, the terrorists you support, who arm children and send them out towards American soldiers, thinking, oh, they won't shoot the children. Yeah, your people do that. The people you're supporting. When I say your people, I'm not saying her just because she has a job. I'm saying the people that she's actively supporting, the Houthis.
You often need a co-signer to even get a loan, and a lot of people don't even have that.
I don't know, this is someone that has no idea what the fuck they're talking about, yet they're acting like they know. For example, when there's something that I don't know about, like the first segment of this video when they talk about politics in Israel and Palestine, I skip on it because I don't want to spread misinformation or get stuff wrong, and I'm just not qualified for that, right? But people like Frogan, they don't know what they're talking about, yet they feel like their opinion...
I don't want to hear his comment.
Hi,
I just want to
I'm
hear her
Frogan,
thing.
and I chose to be a Twitch streamer for my job.
Guess who's back? In the last video, I covered topics such as Frogan's claims to be a public health expert, her confrontations with multiple therapists. Around October 19th, Frogan went live on Twitch and boldly said the following.
I have no pity at all for any soldiers. Distress, thank you so much. I will never have.
Service members who
But now I know it's wrong. Like I'm changed. Like
these other choice but to follow orders. Did, fresh out of high school.
Why'd you join the Navy? Stop selling dope.
Why'd you join the Army?
I need my citizenship. I'm an illegal. She's an immigrant.
Ramirez, why'd you join the Army?
I was in Home Depot working, but they told me it's like when I get the green card, you need to join to the army.
Why did you join the Army?
These are people who put their bodies and their futures on the line at great risk before seeing any type of return. And what are Frogan's requirements for not deserving PTSD again?
So the U.S. military that are like, yeah, like, you know, I did this back then, but now I know it's wrong. Like, I'm changed. Like, imperialism. This, you don't deserve the PTSD.
So you have to know what imperialism even is to be able to say imperialism. And why do they need to say that they've changed? Frogan and her friends are supposed to be leftists who care about the disadvantaged and the working class. But they can't even think through who they're talking to when they say things like this. They only have enough energy to fawn over an anti-Semitic Houthi terrorist. There's no energy for anyone else. A few days later, on October 21st, Frogan doubled down.
I'm getting canceled on Twitter again. Again, yes. Here we go. Yes. I'm sorry. Okay, let me show you why I'm getting canceled, okay? I have no pity at all for any soldiers. Distress, thank you so much. I will never have any pity for any soldiers. And I stand the U.S. military? Who fucking who? I hope you get PTSD. You know?
Notice how she edited out the part where she took a giant ass bite of whatever she was eating right there.
I mean, I stand by it. I mean, like I said, I was like, I mean, the good thing is at least I put my whole take into it. You know what I mean?
Except the part you edited out where you were chewing on food. Yeah.
I do the ones the ones I'm like whatever about the U.S. soldiers are the ones that like acknowledge that like what they did was wrong. They didn't know back then. Whatever. You're a good person in my book. Oh my God, Tom, thank you so much for the 10 gifted. So the U.S. military that are like, yeah, like, you know, I did this back then, but now I know it's wrong. Like, I'm changed. Like, imperialism. This, you don't deserve the PTSD. But like any other, you're joining them. You're like, oh my God, I want my Camaro, no student loans. F you. I hope you get PTSD. And I hope you get no health insurance when you get back into America.
Oh, there it is. There's the big ass bite. She's so pleased with herself. This is just a female edgelord that just wants to say shocking things. She wants to say shocking things to piss people off, which it worked. But in the same breath, I guarantee you, this is the same type of person that if you insult something about them, they will report you. They will 100% say you're harassing them. She probably blocks anybody who disagrees with her on Twitter.
And they posted it in my head. I'm like, base? Base?
Oh, that's insufferable.
Like, am I supposed to be like I'm not walking back on it. I still agree with it. Base?
Well, at least she's honest.
This is absolutely hate speech. Veterans are a protected class. People with mental issues are a protected class. You cannot talk about people like this. It's actually a huge problem. And according to Twitch guidelines, this is a violation. Now, if I can direct your attention, take a look at this gem.
Some of them don't have a choice financially or for school. My little brother is serving right now for that reason. He's not a fan, neither am I.
I took out student loans. Listen, honey, be in student debt like everybody else.
Yes, let's encourage people to have negative net worth as long as they agree with you, huh? They're not Frogan. Yeah, let's just encourage people to go get cosigners and shit and ruin not only their credit, but the cosigners' credit. Let's do that.
Doodle Barb, thank you. You think
Sim for Frogan.
You think I want to be in $100,000 of student loan debt? No, I don't. But I never brown children at the expense of it.
Yeah, she's the pinnacle of how great college is. What's she doing right now? Is she using the degree she got? No. I don't even know what it is, but she's on YouTube, just like on Twitter. She's not using her college degree to get a job. She's not doing anything. She wasted her time clearly a waste of an investment. If she would have spent her time, if she was going to end up doing this, she would have been better off just doing this right off the rip instead of going to college, getting hundreds of thousands of dollars in student loan debt, and then all of a sudden, now I want to be a YouTuber. That's completely preposterous.
You often need a co-signer to even get a loan, and a lot of people don't even have that.
You know what I mean?
No one should believe that Frogan has an ounce of progressive values within her. What does she think happens to the families and the children of people who come back from serving, who have PTSD and have no support system? How many of those people don't go on to contribute to society? How many of those people don't go on at all? And those that do, how many of them go on to be a net negative because of their trauma? We just had 2 terror attacks happen on January 1st, 2025, both committed by military veterans. One was the Las Vegas Cybertruck explosion, in which the perpetrator, Matthew Livelsberger, admitted in letter that he wanted to cleanse his mind of the brothers that he lost and relieve himself of the burden of the lives he took. The other attack was the 2025 New Orleans truck attack, in which Shamsuddin Bahar Jabbar drove a pickup truck into a crowd. 15 people died from this. In a double whammy argument against Frogan's rhetoric, Jabbar pledged allegiance to IS. This man went from serving 10 years in the military to traveling to Egypt and committing an act of terrorism in the name of Islamic fundamentalism.
That was hard to watch. Not the Frogan part. I don't care about her. I'm talking about the part about the veterans committing those terror attacks. Yeah, that's hard to watch. As a veteran of PTSD, that strikes a chord with me. Seeing my brothers commit atrocities like that. I don't agree with what they did. I know they were in pain, but they did cause, just because you're in pain, it's not okay to go out and cause more pain. Veterans do need help. Veterans are underappreciated. And people like her who are branding us as evil, branding us as monsters because we don't agree with her or because we had a rough draw at life is not okay. Just like it's not okay for me to go out and just say people aren't good people because they're from a different place than me. It's not okay. Veterans lay down their lives in many places. I've lost many brothers and many sisters to suicide and inaction, and it's not okay. She does have the right to criticize us. She does have that right. It's a First Amendment right to do that. But just because you have the right to say whatever you want doesn't mean you should. It doesn't mean that it's a good thing for you to insult us. I could be petty. I could call her. I could make fun comment on her weight even more. I could say terrible things about her, which I did. I said I hope her nose ring gets stuck on a piece of bacon, which is, statistically quite possible, given how she acts on stream and how she was always eating. But that doesn't give me the moral high ground. If you know any veterans who are suffering from PTSD, if you know any veterans who are having a hard time, extend an olive branch and ask them how they're doing and try to get them some help and encourage them to spend time with their families, because the world's a better place with them in it and not gone.
Founded by Cutie Cinderella, the Streamer Awards is an annual awards show that celebrates achievements in the live streaming industry over the previous year. The first one was held in 2022. One of the categories that streamers can be nominated for in the Streamer Awards is Rising Star, an award that is dedicated to streamers who are still up and coming. As the website says, these streamers have tremendous growth over the past year and have the potential to be a top streamer. In 2022, Frogan was nominated for the Rising Star Award.
Stance is our rising star.
Stans ended up winning instead of her, but that's fine because Frogan was nominated again in 2023 for the same award.
How can you be nominated for a Rising Star Award when is it upcoming and up and coming streamers that has grown tremendously? Oh, what's up, Gant? What's up, man? How you doing? Upcoming streamer that has been growing tremendously over the past year and is on the path to becoming a top streamer. Note that to be eligible, the streamer must have had less than 1,000 average concurrent viewers. Okay, well, since she's always at like 100, she's always going to be eligible for this award. That's hilarious.
Right. Rising star. I personally don't have an issue with this because it's just a show. It was made for streamers to give awards to their other streamers.
Oh, it's just so I'm a veteran with PTSD, and she's some girl who hates veterans with PTSD. In one of my YouTube videos, somebody asked me to react to her to get the nuance of who she was. So this is what I'm doing. I'm figuring out who she was.
Her friends, but people were confused as to how she got nominated twice in a row. It's a valid question. How can you be a potential rising star 2 years in a row? Ms. Kiff and
It's because that's how they wrote the award, so that anybody who's in that 0 to 1,000 viewer state can be a rising star, which may or may not, depending on your opinion, be bad. I think it, because no one gets famous right off rip unless they're rich and have connections. So it gives people who have been working years until they hit it big to actually get that recognition. So it's not technically a bad thing.
actually popular streamer commented on the categories during one of his streams.
Prince, Zomalive, and Frogan. Frogan was there last year. How do you know him? Dude, I literally, all I do is sit and watch Twitch. Well, I don't watch Twitch. I scroll through and look at people, and I'm like, damn, they have a lot of viewers.
How you doing?
As you can see, she already looks mad here.
Yeah, Frogan's on here again. I feel like that doesn't make any sense.
Let me fix it. Sorry about that.
OTK is nominated again for Board of the Year.
That better?
Why are you nominated again?
Why are you nominated again? Yeah, I turned it up all the way. That should help a lot. My bad.
How are you a rising star twice?
What got me in the military? I grew up in a place called Victorville, California. If you've ever been there, it's a small desert town. And I wanted to see the water, so I joined the Navy. Ended up becoming a firefighter in the Navy.
You're a star, you're not. You know what I mean? Like, what?
Bruh, she is so offended.
I feel
she's a mouth breather.
Why are you
That's
nominated
gross.
again?
How are you a rising star twice? You're either a star or you're not. You know what I mean? Like, what?
Bruh, she is so offended.
I feel like this award should be like...
Oh, she's legit mad at that.
A
Chris
falling
Chan? No,
star
I've never
award?
heard
Bro,
of
that'd be
them.
so funny. I would clear.
Never heard of Chris Chan, sorry.
Honestly,
Huh?
okay, it makes me really upset. I'm not gonna lie.
Oh, she is not gonna fucking cry because a bigger streamer said something about her getting a nomination for an award twice after winning it once. Shut the fuck up, you goddamn crybaby. Do yourself a favor, never look them up. Well, now I'm going to, because you put it like that. Oh, I'm sorry. I'm laughing about this person who has willingly insulted an entire demographic of people who are a protected class, crying because of actual criticism, not of her, but of the award category. How pathetic.
I don't want to cry, but it really does make me really upset.
No, you do, because you're a freaking drama farmer.
Listen,
So I get that she's likely pretty new to having this level of attention directed at her, and it's overwhelming. But it seems pretty clear that Mizkif wasn't being overly harsh on Frogan. He even made a
giving Mizkif a
self-deprecating
follow
joke
after
about
this.
himself, about him clearing the Falling Star Award. Frogan, however, viewed it in the exact opposite way. She immediately took offense to these comments and assumed that the joke was directed towards her. Mizkif came into her chat to explain and apologize.
Annoyed! I'm annoyed! I saw the clip. The reason I said that I don't think you deserve the Rising Star Award is because I think that it should be based on that year. But yeah, I've grown a lot from this year. I meant to no ill with it. Okay, here's my thing. When you say like that and the way you're saying it in front of your audience of like 25,000 people, allowing them to continue to make fun of me, how do you think that makes me feel?
Oh, shut the fuck up. You are kidding me. Oh, you are honestly pathetic for that. After what you've said about people you simply disagree with, get over yourself, you fucking drama merchant. Jesus Christ.
I'm sure it doesn't feel great, but she's the last person to be speaking about this.
It's all fun and games. You're getting all the kick W's, omega lows, fallen star. I didn't even know this was a thing until somebody tweeted it to
you were
me.
there last year. You knew exactly what it was.
So while she's complaining about the possibility of people coming in and harassing her, her own chat was insulting Ms. Kiff and even making death threats towards him.
I know. I'm aware. Hey, I just adjusted my volume. How's it sound?
When asked later about this, Frogan excused her chat for the incident because of the difference in scale between Ms. Kiff and her.
My whole chat was on him, toxic. Okay, his entire chat was toxic towards.
So what? So are you. You're toxic. Everybody's toxic who disagrees with everybody. What are you talking about?
Me at a greater scale, okay?
This is just another example of Frogan playing the victim card when no harm was directed towards her. And unfortunately, it seems that Frogan has a plethora of people around her who will enable this behavior.
This is the kind of thing that people like this do. They take shots and they say they're punching up. But what they actually want to do is they want to say something controversial. And then when they get called out on it, or they want to do things that are unfair, when they get called out on it, they play the victim narrative. They say, oh, woe is me. You're a bully. They say, you're singling me out. They say, why are you coming at me? Because everybody knows that their cohorts and their crocodile tears are going to get people to defend them. This is a weak tactic for people who cannot actually speak truth. This is a tactic of a liar. This is the tactic of a person who actually has no idea what they're talking about. Oh, I know. I did a stream about the LA riots, and at the very end of it, I went on X to see what's going on. The first thing I saw was Hassan Piker complaining about his fucking hair. Fuck that guy.
I've said this before, and I'll say it again. I have no doubt that Frogan deals with discrimination on a regular basis, being a visible minority. However, Frogan doesn't use the words
visible minority. Why? Because she's wearing a hijab? Yeah, I'm aware there's people worse than Hassan Piker.
Racist and Islamophobia cautiously. Seems like
disagreeing someone about politics, disagreeing about someone's choice to say certain things, and disagreeing with people on things that have nothing to do with Islam is not Islamophobia. It is not Islamophobic to say that you're an asshole for saying you hope veterans get PTSD. It's not an attack on your religion or your GARM. It's an attack on you being a fucking dickhead.
she uses these words for any situation that she doesn't like, or any situation where she's being held accountable for her actions. One glaring example is anytime Hassan's community tries to drag Ethan for something new. Frogan will always find an opportunity to try and dunk on or trash talk him, and when Ethan responds, she acts like the victim.
Ethan came after me again, unprompted.
Don't talk.
I think you should learn the word what unprompted means.
If you don't want to get hit. She also acts like a victim every time she says something stupid. Take this, for example.
This MF never shuts up. Oh my god.
What was this in response to? Real Wow Mao tweeted the following.
Do Americans actually know why bin Laden did all that, or do they all believe he hated that they can vote or something?
Ethan Klein took this tweet and responded on his Instagram. He said,
"He did quite literally hate Americans because they could vote and had freedoms. He specifically states in his writings the reasons: homosexuality, lack of Sharia law, drug use, lending of money, and letting Jews run the country. Please read his writings before regurgitating tanky talking points.
Comrade Casey, another Twitter user, said the following.
Ethan Klein has never heard of historical analysis.
And Frogan, of course, couldn't help herself.
Okay, so she'll dogpile on when she sees people are creating a narrative or attacking somebody for disagreeing with her. Does she ever actually go after people herself, or does she just dogpile on top of what other people are doing?
So here we are, back at square one.
This is a Hassan mod telling me, a Jewish man, to shut the f up because I dare
Wait, Frogan's a Hassan mod?
to say Osama bin Laden was bad and hated Jews. Please understand that
I've had people call me a straight white male for pointing out the conservatism of Islam homophobia of most Muslims, even though I'm an Arab. People who can't have a conversation, people who have no idea what they're talking about, and people who know when their narrative is indefensible will immediately go to ad hominem attack, personal insults, and or will try to disenfranchise what you're saying and say what you're saying doesn't matter because of X, because of your skin tone. I'm sure it's going to happen on this video. Sure, someone's going to be like, oh, look at this opinion of a privileged straight white guy. So what? That's just a weak argument for people who literally have no intellectual ammo to get their point across because they don't have one. They don't have a point. They don't have enough education on something. Hassan does this all the time. I'm seeing now that this Frogan person does this all the time. Shit, Ethan Klein does this all the time. Whenever he's losing a debate, or even if he's on X getting a topic. This is why a lot of people don't want to get involved with this stuff. This is where your narrative falls apart. You're like, oh, we need more support for this Islam stuff. And the bottom line is, yes, there are many different sects of Islam, just like there are many different categories of Christianity. I'm not religious at all. I have no religion. But I don't go bad-mouthing Islam. I don't go bad-mouthing Christians. The people I hold accountable are the people who do bad shit. All right? Like Hamas. Like all these people who committed the October 7th attack. Those are bad people. And if you really want to be like, oh, if someone wants to sit there and tell me all Islam's bad, they're absolutely wrong. There's a reason that there's different Islamic sects fighting each other in the Middle East all the time. Because they don't agree with each other. They don't want to do that stuff. And they actually have a very rich culture out there of protecting their neighbor. In most Islamic traditions, in most Muslim traditions, it is shameful to not know who your neighbor is. If you ask an American right now if they know who their neighbor is, they fucking don't. It's absolutely shameful for you to not know who's in your community, and that's considered actual tradition out there to understand and learn from one another. So no, I don't think Frogan, Ethan, and all these people have the best interest in line, and they're definitely not honest actors, especially when it comes to discourse. It's pathetic.
that this is why leftovers ended and that her voice is not fringe within his community.
This, of course, escalated with friends of Frogan and others in the community claiming Islamophobia. And Frogan responded once again.
I am not pro-Bin Laden, Lamau. It is insane to take any legitimate political analysis from Ethan Klein.
People are questioning whether you support him because you told Ethan to shut up when he gave his take on it. I've seen her friends try to talk about the Osama bin Laden drama as if people were just contextualizing what he said. Contextualizing is important in history, but what people were doing with Osama bin Laden wasn't contextualizing. It was just claiming that 9/11 was justified because of the US support for Israel. There have been plenty of atrocities committed throughout history.
Well, that's because they don't like nuance. Nuance is the enemy of truth. Is the enemy of their narrative. Truth and nuance is the enemy of their narrative. All right? These people want to write their own fiction into where they're the hero at all times. They live in a world of convenience. They live in a world of echo chambers of people telling them they're right all the time. And anytime someone doesn't agree with them, they can just hit the block or the report button on Twitch or X. These people can't have a formal debate. I highly doubt. If I looked it up, I would love to debate Frogan. And I'd let her pick the topic. If I got to pick the topic, I would say, explain to me why service members are evil, and I'll explain to you why you're large. We can have that debate. But in all seriousness, I would love for this person to explain to me why I'm an evil man, why I'm a terrible person, because I wanted to see the world and I wanted to save lives as a firefighter. I would love for her to be able to do that, but she won't do that because she's a coward. It's why she's stagnated in growth. I can't say much. I have one viewer right now commenting. I know that. But I've been streaming for less than a month. I'm doing this as a hobby. I got injured in the military. I got disabled. I retired early. That's why I'm doing this. Is because honestly, I'm just bored. She's actually attempting this. She's trying to pay off student loans. I don't have student loan debt. I don't have to deal with that stuff because I didn't go the route that she's encouraging her viewers to go, which is the right route, which is to take hundreds of $1,000s in loans. No, I joined the military. I got to the rank of E6. I worked my ass off. I learned a trade, and I also learned mentoring sailors. And I learned how to find nuance in people's differences. And so that's why I'm able to see when someone's full of shit.
By people who thought they were justified. The 9/11 Commission report, in my opinion, did a great job at contextualizing Osama bin Laden and his motives. It talked about his family, who he was and who he became, and how he rose to power. I believe it even talked about his childhood, but it didn't justify anything. I hope that you can look at a lot of these conflicts and realize that in most of them, she has been the aggressor. But now it's my time to get petty.
Talk about the 40-minute think piece of you. Is it actually 40 minutes? That's insane. Oh my God. Why can't men love me that much? That's what I'm trying to understand.
Here's the thing. I don't hate Frogan. I just find her behavior unacceptable.
Well, that's the funny thing. These people who say they're socialists and they're communist and they want communism stuff, but they're American citizens. They live a very privileged life. They have no idea what it actually means to be a socialist or a communist. They've never done it in execution. They've always lived with a silver spoon in their mouth, and they think their lives will be so much better. There's two types of these people, in my opinion. There's the rich ass ones like Hassan Piker who say, "Oh, I'm a socialist," yet they make millions of dollars off of capitalism. If they were truly socialists or communists, they would give all that back to the community, don't you think? But no, he drives a Porsche that's worth hundreds of thousands of dollars and lives in $1 million mansion. Leftists and liberals tend to overfocus on cultural issues instead of economic ones, only when it's convenient. Yeah, they live in convenience. They don't want to do things, and they don't want to talk about actual conversations and actual solutions, because if they fix the problem, then they don't have any content. They don't have anything to actually bitch about. But yeah, these people who say they're socialism and communism, they're just most of the part just trying to be edgy, and they're farming shock value. They're drama farmers.
Goodbye, go back to fucking Brooklyn, bitch. Like, you have your...
And these are also the same people who switch to the victim narrative. It's a reflex for them. It's honestly a programmed reflex that they've learned, saying, I'll say mean shit. I'll say awful things about a protected class. But once people start attacking me, here comes the crocodile tears. Here come all the sad stuff. It's a very weak and pathetic existence. And I hope to never, if I'm ever poisoned like that, if I ever have followers and they see me do what this fucking lady's doing, please unfollow me and teach me a lesson. That's what these people need. They need a lesson. It's that they keep doing it is because they keep getting paid to do it.
Fucking house there.
I'm not sure Frogan is aware of how mean-spirited she is, but she's pretty unwilling to see how others might see a different perspective from her. And that's...
Oh my God, I am just now realizing she is literally Eric Cartman from South Park. Holy shit. Frogan is literally Eric Cartman. Oh yeah, because they live in a high horse. They live in a high horse. These are the people who have the high ground, and anytime it's about to be taken, they cry.
Especially bad when it comes to bigotry.
I watched 10 minutes and I was like, damn, someone needs to touch grass.
I'm not offended at this, it's true.
It literally is 50 minutes long. That's insane behavior. That's insane behavior.
It's 50 minutes long, but she does what, a 5-hour stream every day?
Oh my God, she used my white man tweet.
I actually love her reactions to this.
And she's talking about my nails. They're like, oh, she's asking for rent, but she has her nails done.
Wait, she farms for rent? For real? She sits there and says, help pay my rent? I gotta see that.
No, we're not going to give that bitch attention at all.
You already have. You already
Spoiler,
have a bringer on
she
your screen.
absolutely did. When I put out my first video, I pushed it on Twitter. She quote tweeted me shortly after, and I was not expecting what I saw.
Destiny's cummies dried up for her. LMAO.
This is sexualizing me just because I've been a...
That's another prime example of her not being able to actually be intelligent enough to make a valid argument. So she makes a ad hominem attack of the sexual nature to try to undo any legitimacy that this person Stardust has with their content. She doesn't list out any facts. She doesn't list out any narrative. She just says, oh, personal insult. But I guarantee you, if Stardust came out and did that and replied, it said something about her weight or her look, or saying she needs to stop eating on stream because it makes me want to throw up, Frogan would report her, block her, or cry.
Associated with another content creator in the past. Aren't you supposed to be a leftist? I don't think I've ever talked about Frogan this way. By the way, remember, she started off in Hassan's community, and she has been modding for Hassan for years. She does all sorts of work for him. I don't have that kind of relationship with any other content creator the way that she does. I could make comments about her and Hassan, but I'm not going to. I did respond to this tweet, but it's not very climactic. You know, I honestly felt a tiny bit bad for making the video, but after this tweet, all sympathy went out the window. Gross. LOL.
You've been up my ass for years now.
There
LMAO.
it is, playing the victim.
Since
I
you
called
started
it.
orbiting Destiny in 2021. You are not a nice person like you are trying to portray yourself. LMAO.
I had a couple of interactions with her in the past, but I haven't been up her ass for years, like she's saying. I only really started paying attention again to her when she started to say crazy things on social media. So not only did she make comments on Twitter that would be interpreted as sexual harassment if a man had said them, she decided to take other jabs at me too.
It's always a hating ass bitch with ugly eyebrows and no lips coming after you. That's what you have to remember.
Yet again, another example of her making ad hominem attacks or insulting somebody based on their physical looks. But I'm pretty sure Tectone got banned for calling her fat. So did she get banned for that? That's against terms of service. Look how proud she is. Look at that smug face right there.
You look at your haters,
She
and
feels
it's
like
an
she's
ugly
cooking
ass
right
bitch
now.
with no fucking eyebrows or no lips coming after you, and you're like, okay, like, I'm sorry you're projecting. I'm sorry you're projecting. Aww.
So I figured I'd respond to these accusations. I've gotten the criticism that I have thin lips before. That's fine, I do. But you know what? I think a bitch that gets lip filler probably doesn't have much place to be talking about myself having thin lips.
Yeah, that's not a bad look. If you're going to attack people for lips, you probably shouldn't self-snitch about getting filler. It's not a good look.
And how often does Frogan get her lips done? How much does it cost? From my research, lip fillers aren't permanent. They last between 4 and 12 months. Prices can range between $332 and $2,000.
Damn.
$354. This is
Maybe she should put some of that towards her rent instead of I don't know if it's a formal alliance. So I think it's probably more just convenience narrative. The leftists are gonna automatically agree with whatever the current government is gonna do because it's Donald Trump. He could save a burning orphanage, and they would probably say those orphans were terrorists. So yeah, of course, Western leftists, liberals alliance with Islamists. Yeah, they're doing it because it's who the current regime disagrees with.
somebody who talks frequently about being in student loan debt. In the last video, I touched on her criticisms of Ludwig. I talked about how ironic it was that she's shaming him for donating $10K while having an emergency rent bar at the bottom of her screen.
She really does farm for rent. That's crazy. That's farming for rent while insulting people about their lips while also bragging about getting lip filler is crazy.
Meanwhile, she is spending at least $85 on her nails twice a month.
These are $120.
$120?
Yes, but let's take economic advice from her and get student loans. Let's do that.
Turns out I was lowballing. Ma'am, you said you...
These are my nails. They have engine grease on them because I do my own car maintenance because I'm a gearhead. It's 5W30 oil out of a Chevy small block. The 5-quart jug was $40.
You have over $100K in student debt. Why does she look so uncomfortable here?
Yeah, they are cheap. For this, it's super cheap because they're so like intricate.
Oh man, whatever you need to do to cope. So her nails cost $120. If she gets her nails done every 2 weeks, and it's $120 every time, that's $240 she's spending on her nails every month. How much is rent?
Oh, what's going on, NT?
Oh,
welcome to the chat.
It's right there. Okay.
I'm doing my veteran reacting to who Frogan is. This video is almost over. This person is awful. This is a bad human, to say the least.
How much are groceries? Is it more or less than rent? More, isn't it? A big thank you.
Oh, okay. Yeah. Yeah, make sure you like, comment, and subscribe her. That was hilarious. Stardust, I'm going to follow her on X right now. Frogan the Tank Engine. That is correct. Is this her? I don't know if that's her. I don't think that's her. I don't know. I guess I can't find them. But yeah, that's my reaction. What's up, Havoc? That's my reaction to the streamer Frogan talking shit about veterans. That's pretty wild. Pretty crazy for her to do. I wouldn't recommend watching her. She's awful. Terrible human. But yeah. Oh, hey, Havoc. Welcome to the chat. Yeah, that was hard to watch. See if there's any more crazy stuff she has to say. Yeah, if you want to give me a recommend, go right ahead. What's up? Oh, Osmond Gold covered her. I love this guy.
Unhinged take on Ludwig's 10K donation. Doesn't this fall under Twitch's hate speech policy? What is this?
I find ultimately, like, if I were to do a charity thing where the charity thing relies on your donations, it should be something where like 5% of people feel good and are down for it. And like ultimately, regardless of what you think, that is not the situation here. So I personally donated 10K because I think it is worthwhile. And if you guys got some extra bread, I would recommend you donate, but I won't throw it on you. You know what I mean? No thanks. And some people.
So he donated 10K to the Children Relief Fund in Palestine. So what? Who doesn't like kids? Who doesn't want to make sure kids are safe? What's wrong with that?
We're going to say that. You know what I mean? That's why it's the difference.
This is a cracker take.
Difference between like.
Oh, my God. Did she get banned for that?
Hey, I can put my money where my mouth is, but I don't need to put your money there. I don't need to enter a fucking debate about whether that's worthwhile.
Take.
Oh, she doubled down. She is insufferable. She's even worse than I thought. Not only is she extremely rude, self-centered, arrogant, victim blaming, and she also plays the victim. She's also an actual racist.
Hey, I know Arabs are dying, but you know, I'm not gonna tell you to donate. Do whatever you want.
Well, this is why Ludwig does that. He just doesn't want to have any. Doesn't want to start any trouble.
Yeah, so Ludwig goes out of his way to try to get people to donate to a non-political cause to help children, and she has a problem with him not demanding they send money. That's crazy.
She probably gonna get suspended for this. She should get suspended for it.
Thinking about it, like you think of the Twitch streamers that haven't said shit about Palestine.
So here's the
Sure, let's watch some more lolcows. If you got more lolcows, Gandalf, let's see them.
thing, right? Is like, and this is another thing that I think is very annoying to a lot of people, is this girl is sitting here with a few hundred viewers trying to raise money for her rent, and then
I forgot about that. Totally forgot about that.
And Ludwig donates $10,000 to the cause that she agrees with, and she calls him a cracker. Come on, man. What the fuck are you doing?
Where were you 7 fucking months ago? The only Twitch streamers that actively talked about what was happening in October have been Hassan, me.
Okay.
Streamers that actually deserve to be fucking shit talked. Okay.
Why do you do this? What is your end goal? You're making.
She doesn't have one. She doesn't have an end goal. Her goal is to be relevant. Her goal is to be shock value full of, and her goal is to piss people off. Her goal is that, and also to get rent. Apparently it's get rent, piss people off, and say racist shit.
Making everything worse. You're hurting the cause. You're being a racist. Where's the upside here?
Like I said, white saviors is like, oh yeah, you know.
That's 3.
Me, I donated $10,000, but I'm not gonna promote it.
Do you want him to give the money back? Ludwig has always been a professional guy. I haven't heard of really any bad stuff about Ludwig, and he doesn't want to get shit on for weeks from people on the internet. And it's not just this issue, it's all these issues.
Don't say you donated $10,000 then. Look, if you're not...
Why the fuck shouldn't he? Why shouldn't he say what he wants? It's his channel. You're the one talking on about him.
Actively believing, if you don't believe in the cause, and if you're not against genocide at this point, like, keep your fucking money. Keep your $10,000.
I bet you wish you had his $10,000 so you could pay your fucking rent.
Sure, that's very easy to say while she's sitting in her home, and where's she living, like Los Angeles or something, California? It's like, I'm sure the Palestinians really appreciate that. What are you doing? Like, why? I don't understand how these people don't understand.
All right, yeah, sure. Let's go check out Chris Chan.